It's not that they're not good enough. I just don't think it's right that 3 teams have to play 13 games to be the champion and 1 team has to play 8. There's a lot here. Shannon, how much of an advantage will it be for Ohio State that Dabo ranked them 11th?
Well, I think the thing is that, for me, coaches use whatever they can, Skip, to motivate their team. And I'm sure Ryan Day say, you know why he didn't want to see us? Because he knows we can beat them. That's why he didn't want to see us. He didn't want to. Nobody wants us to be in the playoffs because they know what we represent. But the reason why normally coaches, Skip, they're like, yeah, you know, you give them all the credit and you build them up. This is a very good team. They're well coached. They got a lot of good players over there. But that's not what Dabo did. Dabo believes that his team is better. So I'm writing checks that my team has to cash. Like you tell the story how Jimmy called a radio station and said, yeah, we're going to beat the brakes off the 49ers.
Because he knew.
Exactly.
They were just better.
At the end
that was Troy Aikman versus Steve Young.
Okay. But, Skip, at the end of the day, you can motivate Coach Day, can do whatever he wants. You better find an answer to Trevor Lawrence. He's the real deal. And what he do last year, he took off running on you and got a big touchdown with his legs. So you got to count, not only must you count for him for his arm because he can throw the football. He's going to be the #1 pick in the draft. But he got great legs. Now, Tony Elliott, the offensive coordinator, has COVID. He's not going to call the plays. So that might be a little influx. But for me, Skip, I think Clemson is the better football team. And Justin Fields has struggled the last 3 weeks. The first 3 weeks, he's completing 87%, over 300 yards passing, and everybody had him. He's the slam dunk #2 pick. Over the last 3 games, Skip, 2 of the 3 games, he's been under 200 yards passing and completing about 58%. So it's forcing evaluators to go back and look, maybe we've been overlooking something. Maybe we were too quick to jump on this bandwagon. But I just think Clemson is the better football team. I believe they beat Ohio State.
And I believe this comment from Dabo, this point of view, this position that he took will come back to haunt him tomorrow.
You taking Ohio State?
I'll take the points.
No! You don't get no points. If Dabo's team wins, he was right.
I just have a feeling, I wouldn't bet on it, but I have a feeling Ohio State will win this game. So I'll go ahead and say I will predict they will win it.
Can we get them to?
And we'll get to that in just 1 second. But my proof positive happened last night. I don't know if you happened to watch my Oklahoma Sooners.
Oh,
maybe
I
even
did.
for a couple of minutes.
I did.
Because it was over in a couple of minutes.
Called Trask.
3 interceptions on his first 3 possessions.
Skip.
You know why? My defense is the best it's been in at least 10 years. Baker didn't have this defense. Kyler didn't have this defense. Jalen did not have anywhere near this kind of defense that they're playing right now.
So we ain't gonna mention all them All-Americans that opted out for Florida, huh?
Okay, there was one for sure, and that would be Kyle Pitts, the 6'6" leading receiver.
Who's just gonna win the Mackey Award? He got and the first tight end to ever be nominated for the Biletnikoff Award because he's so good. And that running back.
Okay, but for proof positive, I give you to make my case that a kid for Florida, whose name I'm not going to mention, before the game, he said that they're not on our level. Speaking of SEC versus Big 12, they're not on our level. Every Oklahoma player I heard last night after the game, they wanted to talk about that quote. We showed we are on this level. This was an even-Steven matchup. You know, even Spencer Rattler tweeted about it right after the game because they took it very personally. These are just kids playing a grown man's game. On big national TV stages, and they were extremely motivated last night to put Florida back in their place.
The thing is, the question that I have, Skip, and like Dan Mullen said, we could have opted out. Well, you probably should, with some of your key, but it just goes to show you, Skip. Kyle Trask had an unbelievable season, but you see, when he doesn't have those All-Americans, Kyle Pitt was the first-team All-American. The running back, I think, was the first or second team All-American athlete, return guy. So they have some athletes, Skip. And Kyle Trask looked very, very average last night. Skip, that guy led the nation in touchdown passes. And I think he led the nation in passing yards. And he looked like a guy.
He's a Heisman finalist.
Yes. Yeah. No, Skip, but I guess that's the Heisman curse because, you know, a lot of guys win the Heisman, Skip, and then they go to the game. You know, Vinny Testaverde, we've seen a lot of guys win the Heisman, and they're like, what happened to you?
Oklahoma averaged 10.5 yards per play last night for the whole game. Every time they snapped the football, they averaged 10.5. They had 684 total yards and rushing 435.
Well, the defensive coordinator is some trash.
Okay, well, he's been on the hot seat for
Well,
a long
I
time.
don't know.
Okay.
Did you see what Alabama did?
Yep.
No, we got that stink.
Do you know what Oklahoma would do to Alabama? Do you know why Oklahoma should be in place of Notre Dame in this place? We would actually have a watchable game because it would be a
Don't do that,
shootout.
Skip, don't do that.
Listen,
Skip, we loaded.
Hey, Spencer Rattler has much more arm talent than Baker or Kyler or Jalen has.
Skip.
Spencer Rattler can throw it. I'm not saying he's a better quarterback.
Skip.
Yeah.
You see what we got over there? We keep.
I got it.
What y'all gonna do with Devontae? You tell me what y'all gonna do with Devontae.
I see Coach Saban giving up 40 and 40 and 40. I see it. He's saying, "Oh, now it's not about defense; it's about offense."
Because
okay, I got it.
It is.
Okay, you might be able to score 50 on Oklahoma's defense, but listen, Oklahoma might be able to put 50 on you.
Yeah,
it would be an all-time shootout, and I watched Notre Dame get blown off the field by Clemson. It was 34-3 at one point, wound up 34-10, right?
Let me ask you a question, Skip. Who y'all lose to?
Okay, do you realize my best defensive player was suspended from last year's bowl game, Ronnie Perkins, and my best... have you watched Ramondre Stevenson? Have you watched? He is the next Derrick Henry. He's 250 pounds, and nobody can stop him. He had 200 last night.
Yep. I mean, I read him. You know,
he was suspended for the first those games that they lost. And again, you have to understand that they were motivated last night by a comment, and I believe Ohio State will be motivated. And I give you what you're talking about, Justin Fields, but hey, watch them come back. They'll play their best game of the year.